Good morning, our friends in America. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Dr. Samir Hamrouni, the CEO of the World Free Zone Organization. My name is Hussam Abdullah. I am a Chief of Strategy and Business Development at the World Free Zone Organization, and I will be taking you today through my presentation on Safe Zone certification program. Okay. Before I show you my presentation, I just like to introduce the World Free Zone Organization. I'm very sure you all know it. We are a non-government organization. We are based in Dubai, registered in Geneva. We have members from all free zones, most of the free zones in the world globally. And we have regional offices. We have about 40 regional offices representing our image and speaking on our voice, on behalf of our voice. We have also national contact points spread in several countries across the globe. We do have so many products and services we are offering to our free zones members, and we hope to attract more members from different free zones in the world. Today I'm gonna share with you one of our flagship project or products called Safe Zone certification. Let me share with you the presentation. Safe Zone certification, it's a program which is actually reflecting a new global standard, and this is mainly for clean trade in free zones. So any free zone wish to showcase that they have clean trade according to standards that I'm gonna talk to you about it, can apply to this certification program. We know that illicit trade is an activity, it's unfortunate byproduct of global trade flows. Whenever you have cargo movement across the free zones in and out, unfortunately, there is some sort of illicit trade going on there. And this represents about 15% of the global GDP, and it costs around more than $510 billion, which represents 3% of global trade. So at the World Free Zone Organization, we have worked with our international partners and designed what is called a voluntary standard. It's not a mandatory standard, but it's a voluntary standard for interested zones wish to apply for this standard. Our partners are like the World Customs Organization. We have used their SAFE framework, and the World Trade Organization, we have used their trade facilitation agreement, and we worked with OECD, use their Code of Conduct for clean trade, free trade. Based on these three documents, we came up with the ultimate standard for clean free trade. It's called Safe Zone Certification Program. So we have built this program as, again, a voluntary compliance model to protect zones from illicit activities like maybe fake products or illicit smuggling, smuggling of arms, smuggling of human trafficking, so many things. So we need to have clean trade inside the free zone. We need to protect the zones from having illicit activities within their borders, and we need to promote their integrity, mainly transparency and governance, to showcase for different stakeholders. So our program applies to free trade zones. So whenever I say free zones, it's meant to be free trade zones or special economic zones or industrial parks, as long as they are bounded. They have boundary wall, they have fence. Okay. So this standard applies to bounded zones only. Like here, for instance, in Dubai, we have zones like healthcare city, we have internet city, we have knowledge city. Okay, these are not bounded, these are like cities, but they are zones, they are free zones, special economic zones. So the standard does not apply to them. It applies to only bounded zones. Okay, in 2018, we have designed this program and we put it on trial and test. Okay, so we took some 5 pilot free zones and we told them to apply this standard and see how they go. Okay, these zones such as Dubai Airport Free Zone Authority is one of them. And there is one Zona Franca in Barcelona. Another one is in Luxembourg, another one in Gupta, and the other one in Latvia. So 5 free zones, they have applied this global standard for clean trade, and they have been successfully awarded with the certification. Now, certification has 2 types. The first type is called Safe Zone certification, and the second type is called Safe Zone Platinum certification. And the difference is that in Safe Zone certification, which is a basic certificate, of course, it's credible certificate. Zones are required to sign what is called a Code of Conduct, OECD Code of Conduct. Okay, but for Safe Zone Platinum certification, it's required by the zones to sign what is called the Safe Zone Code of Conduct, plus security declaration by all companies operating in the free zone. So this is what it makes difference or differentiate between the first type of certification and the second type of certification. So any zones who achieve this certification, the certificate will be valid for 2 years, and it's optional whether the zones decide to recertify or to say, no, thank you, we are safe and we are secure and we are complying with the World Customs Organization OECD requirements, and we are, we don't need to be recertified. Okay, then it's optional. It's up to the zones authorities to decide on that. It's a voluntary standard. It's not a mandatory standard. In March 2019, at the World Free Zone Organization, we headed a delegation of 20 free zones globally, and we met with the OECD and showcased our efforts, told them that, this is what we are doing to help zones demonstrate that they have clean trade credentials. Okay, and they welcomed this move, and they, they praised us. Now, there are so many benefits that can be generated at higher level for countries, for governments, and even for free zones management or operators or authorities. These benefits include trade facilitation, okay, and it includes like attraction of FDIs or foreign direct investors. It helps in increasing exports inside the zones, enhancing the economy, because once the exports are increased, then that will be reflected on the local economy and the GDP of the country. It helps also improving the image of these countries and the governments by having clean trade inside the zones, and that will give an opportunity for jobs to be created. At partners level, like banks and logistic industries, even multilateral organization, again, they will enjoy trade facilitation. The risk will be reduced, and when the risk is reduced, liability will be reduced, and that will create business opportunities. Okay, now how do you go about it? How free zones, special economic zones or free trade zones can apply? Everything is online through our certification hub. This is the website. You can access through and you get the details, get the format, the program itself through the website. So first of all, what you need to do is to register on Safe Zone website, which is called certificationhub.org. Fill out the application form. The form will be automatically come to us, and then in the form there are some information that relates to whether the zone is bounded or not, whether the zone is operating for minimum 3 years, and you have to attach the organizational structure or chart. Okay, this application will come to our Safe Zone committee. They will verify these documents, and they will send the system will generate email to the zones to start creating the login, the username and password. Okay, and then another set of documents have to be received by us, like the contract between the World Free Zone organization and the zone who's applying this program. They have to sign a code of conduct by higher authority, and there will be like 50% advance payment has to be received by us, 50% of $10,000. The program cost $10,000. It shall be paid in 2 installments. The 50% advance initial payment we have to receive at the beginning. Okay, and we need also to see copy of the zone license. Then after that, the system will generate a welcome email, and the zone will start filling out the self-assessment questionnaire. The self-assessment questionnaire, I'll talk about it in a few seconds. Just, in filling out the self-assessment questionnaire, there are explanatory notes. There are about 50 questions in it, and each question, has some sort of explanation. What does it mean? It's very simple. In case zones require awareness, we can do over Zoom. We can create awareness to requesting zones over the Zoom. Okay. Then once the self-assessment questionnaire is filled out, we will receive it. We will assign third party to conduct desktop review and send initial report of findings to the zone. In case there are a need for areas for corrective action to cover the areas for improvements, then the zone has to take action. Otherwise, the next step will be that we are contracting a third-party validator who will plan to visit the applicant zone and do a validation visit, site visit. And based on the site visit, the validator definitely will tour around the facilities, the zone inside, but he will not, or she will not interfere with the companies. It's only validating through meeting with the free zone operator or free zone authority. He or she will not, interview or enter any of the free zones companies. So based on the validation visit, he will prepare a report. Hopefully everything is in order. Everything is found to be in compliance with the requirements. And based on that, he will prepare the final report and recommend for our committee, recommend the certificate to be to issue the certification. And in this case, before issuing the certification, we will request the balance of 50% to be paid and received by the World Free Zone organization. It's very straightforward, simple process, okay, that involves mainly filling out a questionnaire, self-assessment questionnaire, receiving the questionnaire, give feedback in case there are certain areas need to be improved, and based on that, a site visit by the validator, third-party validator, independent, objective. He will go to the site and carry out validation at site by meeting the zones authorities, only the people, and mainly security people, and based on that, he will recommend to issue the certificate. So in filling out the registration form, it has to be signed by, preferably to be signed by the CEO of the free zone, who is legally authorized. Then he must assign a contact person to liaise between the World Free Zone organization and the applicant zone. Now, for the self-assessment questionnaire, there are like 7 areas to be covered. One of them is to provide general information about the zone, establishment, a number of companies, location, what sort of scope, size, etc. Then the second one, it will it address the trade compliance, whether the zone is having cargo movement in and out, customs on borders. So it's general question about trade movements, cargo movements. The third item talks about what sort of records are kept, which demonstrates clean transactions in terms of cargo transaction and in terms of finance, how financial transactions are carried out and whether they are viable or not. Then again, the other element talks about the supply chain, whether this visibility and cargo movement and the clean trade is ensured through the supply chain, the entire ecosystem of the surrounding the zone. So there is one main item covers the supply chain and the security requirements. How the zone ensure that suppliers and service providers of the zone also comply with safety and security requirements. Okay. Then another pillar talks about the due diligence, whether the zone is conducting due diligence before, allowing and licensing the companies to set up their business. So in this case, how is the risk? How is the risk mitigated, and how it is controlled? So in this case, there will be some sort of transparency between the zones and the operating companies, and between and to show that the zones are complying with the OECD and our certification requirements. Okay. So there are 7 elements, or I consider criteria, to be covered simply in the self-assessment questionnaire form. So the main bones of this certification program is the Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct is it's a document issued by OECD, and it talks about the behavior and the logistical elements of the free zone that they have to adhere to. So it's like 2 pages document, has to be signed by top authority of the free zone. The security declaration, it's another document that has to be signed by all companies existing in the free zone or special economic zone. So this is what it makes the certification different between what can be considered safe zone certification or safe zone platinum certification. This program that we have designed aligns with the ISO 28000. It's for security management system, and the international ISO standard. It's called 18001 for health and safety management system. If you like, and I do encourage that you do a benchmark with one of those piloted zones who applied the program. Dubai Airport Free Zone Authority is the best secure zone that they demonstrated full compliance to the requirements of the safe zone certification, and even they have received recognition by the National Security Council in UAE. They have so many good practices in terms of safety and security. They have security patrolling, and they have security monitoring of all bounded area. They have CCTV cameras. They have physical patrols. They have smart patrols, vehicles like the Segway, the Camcar, utility vehicles, and also they have like smart gate, okay, to monitor the flow, to monitor the flow of vehicle and foot traffic on site, like face recognition. They have gate pass reader, they have smart seal and tracking, enhanced security pay, so many things. They have designated lanes, they have interactive display screens, they have so many physical security equipments and gear that demonstrate full compliance of security at their premises. Okay. Even they have smart e-gate pass for anybody entering the zones. He will be screened without knowing, in order to make sure, you know, that he is not armed with guns or with the drugs or whatever. Okay, even, you know, for vehicles entering the zones or entering the parkings, it will be scanned and screened, make sure that there is no illicit or fake elements or substance carried out by the vehicles. So actually, this certification program built confidence and trust in the zone's operation model. It's a good program. I do encourage all zones to apply for that program. And this is a global reference and important win-win instrument for all stakeholders, because zones will showcase compliance with international standards for clean trade. I do encourage all zones to participate. It's a simple process. Total cost is $10,000. It's not a long journey. It can be done within 1 or 2, 3 months maximum, provided that, you know, the zone is secured and there are no security breaches, no penetration, and cargo is moving in and out without any problem. So I hope that zones do contact us, apply for this program, and good luck. I wish good luck to all free zones. Now I will. Okay, now I'm gonna move to our IT manager. His name is Sajan. He will talk about the website. He will show you the website. Then we can take Q&A, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. There you go, Sajan.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome again. I'm Sajan Verghese. I'm heading the IT department at World Free Zones Organization. I will just quickly show you the website process, how you can apply, how we can be part of this good initiative, how to register, and everything related with online, whatever you need to do. So our website is certificationshub.com, and then you will find this site, and this is the consolidated site for all our certifications. We have safe zone, green zone, and smart zone. At the moment, we have started with safe zone, accepting applications all over from the world, all the free zones which are interested. You can come here and click on register, and you will have a form here, online form here. So you can just type in your free zone name. I'm just doing a demo free zone here. Select your free zone type, address you can fill in, and city, and the country of your free zone. Website, if you want, you can give. You need to give the focal point, whoever is a free zone manager, who will be in communication to the World Free Zones Organization. Job title, email you can give. So I'm just giving one email. Whether your free zone is bounded or not, it's a requirement for our safe zone program. And the year of establishment of the free zone, it should be at least 3 years in existence. And fill in your phone number. Then just accept all the requirements and then click on register. Okay, as soon as you fill up the form and submit it, you will receive an email immediately after that. In that, you will need to be prepared with some documents which are called eligibility documents, which are the necessary documents for the application of safe zone program. We need to have the OECD Code of Conduct document, which is available in the portal, and be ready for signing the World Free Zone Agreement. That's an agreement between the Free Zone and World Free Zone. And you need to have the Free Zone license copy and the 50% of the payment which needs to be paid for as a fees for the Safe Zone program. So as soon as this is received, the application will be received by the World Free Zone Committee, and they will approve it. And you will have another email which will allow you to create the password for you to access into the platform and start uploading your documents. So in this email, you have the password reset option. So you will create a password for it. So once you create the password, you can log in with your email address, whichever you have registered. And you will be in the dashboard of the certification hub website. You can see 3 options here. Click on the Safe Zone icon, and you will reach the Safe Zone portal, where you will be finding these 5 options. In that, you will have the eligibility documents, which are the first necessary documents which is required for the whole process. Here you will find the Free Zone World Free Zone Agreement. You can download that, and also you will have the OECD Code of Conduct document. So you need to sign this document. You need to fill the name, designation of the person who is responsible from the free zone, who is a free zone manager, or any free zone authority who is responsible for this department of communication, or anybody related with safety and security measures. Also, the Code of Conduct is a document from OECD, which you need to sign in order for us to approve your application. Once you have these documents signed up, and then upload it back here in the portal itself. I'll just quickly show you how to upload these documents. Then once you have your payment receipt, you have 2 options here to do the payment. You have an online payment system we have, You can either pay through your credit card or you can transfer it to our World Free Zone account, which is available here. So once you have that, upload the payment receipt here. I don't have a payment receipt here, so I'm just putting some file just to bypass this step. So as soon as you have all these documents, then you need to have the Free Zone license copy. Attach that as well. And click on submit. And you're done with the second step. Now, as a third step, as a third step, you will be allowed to go into the safe zone self-assessment questionnaire, and you will be allowed to give your answers. We have, as Sam already explained, we have 7 sections here, and go through each session to fill in your answers. If you have attachments, you can present it here. And then each session, you need to save it. And each session you need to save it and go into the next session to do that. And once you finish all these 7 sections, you can submit it. So once the application of self-assessment questionnaire will reach us, we will place the validator in place to evaluate your case, and the validator will be furthermore contacting the Free Zone manager to do the next steps. So from there, the validator will be there along the journey till the Free Zone is awarded with the certificate. So that's it from my side. If you have questions, then please put it in the Q&A so that we can answer you and help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sajan. Anybody who has any question, any query, please feel free to, you can ask now, or you can send us at World Free Zone Organization.
Osam, we have one question. You have mentioned 3-year-old free zones for certification. What about new free zones that are being developed? Is there any pre-certification?
Not really. For newly developed free zones, they have to be in operation for 3 years to have records to show evidences of compliances. But they can use the criteria, the program, in order to start establishing themselves from level 1 until after 3 years they will be having everything in place instead of going back and start collecting the records, etc. So for newly developed free zones, it's better to start the journey by going through the criteria and start doing it for themselves. Okay, but after 3 years they can do submit for certification.
Okay, Usam, thank you. There's a question from Edgar. Is this certification recognized by all custom authorities?
It's recognized by the OECD, which is the top concerned authority with and it's recognized by the World Custom Organization, World Trade Organization, because we work together and we came up with this program. Yes, so it's credible, it is recognized, yeah.
I think we don't have any more questions. So I hope we can wind up.
So I'm gonna share with them the presentation, and on the presentation, it's mentioned my name, my email address, and even you can, my mobile number, you can also write to me on WhatsApp, and I would be glad to help you all. I wish you all the success. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.